My precious soul, today is not an ordinary day. Today, on April 12th, Archangel Michael says you have 3 hours until this blessing arrives. Don't make the mistake of ignoring the gift that heaven has prepared for you. This is not a random message. This is not a coincidence. And this is definitely not something you stumbled upon by accident. The timing is too precise. The date is too specific. The urgency is too strong. April 12th carries a spiritual mark over your life, and in the next 3 hours, something that has been delayed, something that has been prayed over, something that has been whispered about in the heavenly realms is about to manifest. Archangel Michael stands with his sword of light, not to fight against you, but to fight for you. He says that a window has opened. A divine portal of favor had been unlocked. And you, yes you, are standing at the edge of receiving something that once felt impossible. But here is the warning. Do not ignore it. Some blessings do not knock twice. In the spiritual realm, movement has already begun. Angels have been assigned. Obstacles have been pushed aside. Invisible chains that once held back your progress have been shattered. And yet, there is one thing that can still interfere: your doubt. Archangel Michael is speaking clearly. You have 3 hours. 3 hours of alignment. 3 hours of awareness. 3 hours to prepare your heart. This blessing is not small. It is not symbolic. It is not temporary. It is something tangible, something life-shifting, something that will make you look back at this exact moment and say that with the turning point, for weeks, maybe even months, you have felt pressure, strange tension, a sense that something was about to break, either in a good way or a painful way. That feeling was not anxiety. It was spiritual anticipation. The enemy sensed your breakthrough before you did. That is why distractions increased. That is why confusion tried to cloud your mind. That is why certain people behaved strangely around you. Because when heaven prepares a gift, the atmosphere shifts. Archangel Michael says that what is coming carries restoration. It carries compensation. It carries repayment for tears that no one saw. You thought your silent prayers disappeared into the air. You thought your patience went unnoticed. But every tear was recorded. Every moment of endurance was counted. And now, April 12th stands as a divine checkpoint. But listen carefully. The blessing may not come in the packaging you expect. It may not look like fireworks. It may not announce itself loudly. It can come as a phone call, an opportunity, a sudden idea, a door opening that previously stayed shut, a conversation that changes everything. If your heart is closed, you will miss it. If your mind is distracted, you will overlook it. If your spirit is cynical, you will dismiss it. Archangel Michael warns that some people pray for miracles but reject them when they arrive because they do not match their imagination. Do not make that mistake. There is a gift prepared specifically for you, not for the person next to you, not for someone more qualified, not for someone louder or more confident. For you. Heaven has already written your name on it. And here is something deeper. This blessing is connected to obedience. There is a small instruction you will feel prompted to follow within these 3 hours. It may feel simple. It may feel subtle. But it will be clear. Do not ignore that nudge. That gentle inner voice is not random. It is guidance. Archangel Michael says, I am clearing the path, but you must take the step. This is a partnership between heaven and your faith. The reason this message found you today is because you are spiritually sensitive. Even if you doubt yourself, even if you sometimes feel unworthy, Your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it. Something inside you stirred the moment you heard April 12th. Something inside you whispered, "This is about me." Yes, it. For too long, you have been the one waiting, watching others receive, watching doors open for them, watching blessings pass by while you remain patient. But divine timing is never late. It is precise. 3 hours. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Not someday. Today. And this blessing is not only about material gain. It is about confirmation. It is about knowing that you are seen, that you are defended, that you are protected by forces stronger than anything trying to intimidate you. Archangel Michael stands as your defender. He says that a cycle is ending today. A heavy chapter is closing. And the moment this blessing enters your life, you will feel a shift, like fresh air after being in a closed room for too long. But hear this clearly. Do not let fear sabotage favor. When the blessing arrives, accept it without questioning your worth. Receive it without overanalyzing it. Embrace it without shrinking yourself. Heaven does not make mistakes. The clock has already started. 3 hours of divine alignment. 3 hours of spiritual acceleration. 3 hours until something changes. Prepare your heart. Clear your mind. Stay alert. Because what is coming carries heaven's fingerprint, and you do not want to look back and realize you ignored the gift that was meant to transform your life. Beloved one, as the clock continues to move on this powerful April 12th, the atmosphere around you is not ordinary. You may not see it with your physical eyes, but there is movement in the unseen realm. Archangel Michael is not speaking casually. When he says you have 3 hours until this blessing arrives, it is because the countdown has already begun in heaven's calendar. What feels silent on earth is loud in the spiritual realm. Right now, something is aligning behind the scenes. Conversations you know nothing about are shifting in your favor. Decisions are being influenced. Delays are being overturned. There are people who will suddenly think about you. There are doors that will suddenly feel lighter to push. What once felt blocked will begin to loosen. And when it happens, it may feel almost too easy. Do not let that surprise cause you to hesitate. Archangel Michael is urging you to remain spiritually alert. The enemy's final tactic before a breakthrough is distraction. Notice how, just when something good is close, random thoughts try to flood your mind. Old fears resurface. Doubt whispers, "What if nothing happens?" That is not your intuition. That is resistance reacting to your upcoming elevation. You must guard your focus in these remaining hours. What you meditate on will shape how you receive. If you dwell on fear, you may misinterpret the blessing. If you expect disappointment, you might overlook divine favor disguised as a simple opportunity. The gift heaven prepared for you may arrive quietly, but its impact will be loud in your life. There is also something important Archangel Michael wants you to understand. This blessing is connected to growth. It is not just comfort. It is expansion. It may stretch you. It may require you to step into a new level of responsibility. That is why preparation is necessary. Heaven does not promote someone who refuses to mature. And you, whether you realize it or not, have been maturing through every delay, every tear, every unanswered question. Think back to who you were a year ago. You are not the same person. Your patience has deepened. Your discernment has sharpened. Your resilience has strengthened. The waiting season was not punishment. It was preparation. Archangel Michael says that what arrives within These 3 hours will match the version of you that has evolved, not the version that once begged in desperation. Here is also a test hidden in this moment. Will you receive without guilt? Will you accept without self-sabotage? Sometimes the greatest mistake is not rejecting the blessing outright, but questioning it so much that you delay its impact. Overthinking can block what obedience would unlock. If something feels divinely timed today, move with courage. If a door opens, step forward. If an idea ignites, act on it. The blessing is not meant to be admired from a distance. It is meant to be embraced. And listen carefully. This message did not appear in your life randomly. There are thousands of distractions online, yet you are here, hearing this specific word about April 12th and the 3-hour window. That alone is a sign. When heaven wants your attention, it knows how to reach you. Archangel Michael knows how to position messages directly in your path. If this is resonating with your spirit, do not keep it to yourself. Like this message so more people can encounter it at the right time. Share it with someone who needs a reminder that heaven has not forgotten them. Comment your faith below and declare that you are ready to receive. And make sure you are subscribed to this channel, because these divine warnings and confirmations are not coincidences. They are lifelines for those who are spiritually awake. There is a reason you were guided here today, and there is something coming that you will not want to face unprepared. Stay connected, stay aligned, and keep your spirit open. As the minutes continue to pass, pay attention to subtle shifts. A sense of calm replacing anxiety. A sudden clarity replacing confusion. A door that once felt locked now feeling slightly open. These are indicators. Archangel Michael is clearing resistance even now. But here is the deeper truth. This blessing is also about identity. It is proof that you are chosen, defended, and guided. The enemy tried to convince you that you were forgotten, that your prayers were delayed because you were overlooked. That lie ends today. Within 3 hours, confirmation will arrive. It may be the start of something that unfolds over weeks, but the spark begins today. Do not measure it only by size. Measure it by significance. Some seeds look small, but they grow into forests. You are standing at the edge of divine acceleration. What you do in this short window matters. Guard your thoughts. Guard your reactions. Guard your faith. Because what is about to enter your life will not just change your circumstances. It will change your confidence. And once you see what heaven can do in a single day, you will never doubt divine timing the same way again. And what unfolds next will make everything you endured finally make sense. Faithful heart, something is shifting even as you listen to these words. The air around your destiny feels charged because April 12th is not just marked on a calendar, it is circled in the spirit. Archangel Michael is standing guard over this hour, and he is making it clear that what is about to arrive is not random kindness. It is divine strategy. You have entered a moment of divine convergence. The prayers you whispered months ago are colliding with the obedience you have shown recently. The tears you shed in private are meeting the resilience you built in silence. Heaven wastes nothing. Every delay, every setback, every lonely night was shaping your capacity to handle what is coming. Archangel Michael says the next 3 hours are sacred. Not because of fear, but because of faith. When heaven prepares a gift, it also prepares the vessel. And you have been prepared more than you realize. There were times you felt like giving up. Times when you questioned if your faith was foolish. Times when you wondered if anyone truly saw your effort. But what you could not see was the spiritual warfare being fought on your behalf. Archangel Michael had been intercepting attacks you never even knew were aimed at you. He had been redirecting arm. He has been closing doors that looked attractive but would have drained you. That is why this blessing is protected. It cannot be stolen. It cannot be cancelled. It cannot be reassigned. But it can be ignored. And that is the warning wrapped inside this promise. Some people miss divine moments because they expect dramatic signs. They look for thunder when heaven sends a whisper. They look for applause when heaven sends instruction. The gift prepared for you may begin with something simple, a message, an idea, an invitation, a shift in perspective. Do not underestimate small beginnings. Archangel Michael is urging you to respond quickly when the opportunity presents itself. Delay is the language of doubt. Obedience is the language of trust. Within these remaining hours, you will feel a moment that requires a decision. It may not seem huge in the natural, but spiritually it will be monumental. This is about alignment. For too long, you have been slightly out of position, not because of rebellion, but because of confusion. You were unsure which direction to take, unsure who to trust, unsure if you were even hearing correctly. But today, clarity will cut through the noise. And here is something even deeper. This blessing is connected to restoration of confidence. Not just resources, not just opportunity. Confidence. You have been doubting yourself quietly, smiling outwardly, but questioning inwardly. Archangel Michael says the gift arriving today will confirm that you are not behind in life. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are on schedule. The spiritual realm operates with precision. April 12th is a checkpoint, a marker that separates an old cycle from a new rhythm. When this blessing touches your life, you will sense a release, like a knot untangling inside your chest. But you must receive it fully. Do not shrink yourself when it arrives. Do not say, "I don't deserve this." Do not analyze it until excitement turns into fear. Simply say yes. Archangel Michael is not only delivering a gift, he is delivering a shift in atmosphere. What once felt heavy will begin to feel lighter. What once felt complicated will start to feel manageable. The fog will thin. And after this moment passes, you will look back and realize that everything changed in a subtle but powerful way. The clock is still moving. Heaven is still aligning. And your name is still written on what is coming. Open your heart wide. Lift your expectation. Quiet the noise around you. There is a sacred exchange happening. As you release doubt, heaven releases provision. As you release fear, heaven releases clarity. This is not hype. This is a divine appointment. If this message is speaking directly to your spirit, do not stay silent. Type "I receive the promise" in the comments as a declaration of alignment. Lesson code 444 is now activated over your life. And now, listen closely. When you choose to respond, when you choose to declare your faith openly, you are not just participating in a video. You are sowing into a mission that carries light to souls who feel lost in darkness. Scripture declares, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." That is not ancient history. That is God speaking directly into this moment. When you release a super thanks, when you join as a member, or when you give through the PayPal link in the description, you are placing seed into fertile spiritual ground. You are saying, "I will not ignore the gift of heaven, and I will help others receive theirs too." As you sow, you become part of the harvest. As you give, you fuel the spreading of truth across nations. This is not about supporting a channel. It is about igniting a fire that reaches hearts on the edge of giving up. The oil keeps flowing when faithful hands pour into the vessel. And as you act in obedience, I declare that provision will chase you, favor will locate you, and doors will respond to your name. Do not hesitate. Step into this moment. Release your seed. Activate your blessing. Chosen one, the atmosphere around you is becoming clearer now. Whether you realize it or not, something within you has started to shift since you first heard that today, on April 12th, you have 3 hours until this blessing arrives. That awareness alone has already separated you from the version of yourself that once operated in hesitation. Archangel Michael is still standing watch, and what he is revealing now is deeper than urgency. He is about readiness. There are blessings that arrive gently, and there are blessings that arrive with momentum. What is coming toward you carrying movement? It will not wait forever for you to feel comfortable. It will invite you forward. You may already sense subtle changes. Perhaps your mind feels more focused. Perhaps a certain fear has lost its grip. Perhaps a new idea keeps resurfacing, refusing to be ignored. These are not random thoughts. They are signals. The spiritual realm often whispers before it moves loudly. For a long time, you have been asking for confirmation. You have asked for a sign that you are on the right path. You have asked for clarity about whether to continue, whether to pivot, whether to believe again. This blessing is not only an answer to prayer, it is a confirmation of direction. Archangel Michael says that hesitation has cost you opportunities in the past, but it will not cost you this one. You have learned. You have grown. The delays you experienced trained your discernment. You no longer jump blindly, but you also no longer freeze in fear. There is a balance forming within you. Still, there is a final layer being peeled back, the layer of self-doubt. It hath been subtle, almost hidden. On the outside, you appear strong. On the inside, there have been moments when you questioned if you are truly capable of carrying something greater. That inner conflict ends here. The blessing prepared for you is not beyond your capacity. It matches who you are becoming. Archangel Michael is not delivering something to overwhelm you. He is delivering something to elevate you. Elevation always feels unfamiliar at first. It stretches your comfort zone. It invites you to see yourself differently. And sometimes, the hardest part of stepping into favor is believing that you belong there. Listen carefully. When the opportunity presents itself, do not minimize it. Do not speak negatively about it. Words have weight. What you say in the moment of arrival can either anchor the blessing or push it away. There may also be people around you who do not immediately understand your shift. They are used to the old version of you, the cautious one, the waiting one, the doubting one. When you begin to move with confidence, it may surprise them. That is not your concern. Your responsibility is obedience, not approval. Archangel Michael reminds you that protection surrounds this moment. The fear of failure that once paralyzed you is losing authority. The opinions that once intimidated you are fading in influence. What matters now is alignment. And here is something profound. This blessing may be the beginning of a new identity chapter. Not just a change in circumstances, but a change in how you see yourself. You are stepping into a season where you will no longer introduce yourself through your struggles. You will introduce yourself through your strength. The 3-hour window is symbolic of acceleration. Things that once moved slowly will begin to gain speed. What took months may now take weeks. What took weeks may now take days. Divine timing as a way of compressing seasons. But acceleration requires trust. If you cling to old disappointments, you will slow down what is trying to lift you. If you replay past failures, you will distort present favor. Archangel Michael urges you to release the memory of what did not work. It served its purpose. It taught you resilience and taught you wisdom. Now it must stay behind. April 12th marks a dividing line. On one side is the weight of what you endured. On the other side is the momentum of what you are about to receive. There is also an emotional healing attached to this blessing. Something inside you that felt bruised will begin to mend. You may not even connect it immediately, but peace will start to replace tension. Confidence will replace insecurity. Hope will replace skepticism. This is how you will recognize that the gift has arrived, not just through external signs, but through internal calm. Archangel Michael says that heaven does not rush without reason. The urgency of 3 hours is not pressure, it is precision. It means everything has aligned perfectly. The timing of people, the timing of opportunity, the timing of your readiness, all synchronized. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time. As the remaining moments unfold, remain attentive. Stay grounded. Breathe deeply. When the door opens, walk through it with grace. When the idea ignites, pursue it with confidence. When the confirmation appears, accept it with gratitude. Because what is happening now is not a small adjustment. It is the beginning of visible evidence that heaven has been working in your favor all along. Brave soul, something inside you is becoming steady now. The panic that once tried to creep in when you heard 3 hours is fading, and in its place, a quiet expectation is rising. A shift is important. Archangel Michael is not only announcing a blessing, he is stabilizing your spirit so you can carry it without fear. There was a time when sudden change would have overwhelmed you. Even good news felt suspicious. Even open doors felt temporary. You were conditioned by disappointment to expect loss. But you are not standing in that old mindset anymore. April 12th is not repeating your past. It is rewriting your pattern. Archangel Michael is revealing that this blessing has layers. The first layer may appear simple, almost ordinary, but beneath it is something strategic. It connects to your future in ways you cannot fully see yet. That is why the instruction was clear. Do not ignore it. What looks small may unlock something massive later. You have prayed for expansion, but expansion requires movement. It requires courage to say yes when your comfort zone says wait. It requires trust when your logic demands guarantees. The spiritual realm operates beyond what your physical senses can measure. Right now, the unseen realm is responding to your posture. If you remain open, the flow continues. If you withdraw in fear, the momentum slows. Archangel Michael is not pressuring you. He is preparing you. He is reminding you that faith is not passive. It is responsive. There is also something else happening in this moment. Certain spiritual ties that kept you connected to old limitations are breaking. You may notice that a familiar insecurity no longer feels as strong. A memory that once triggered pain may feel distant. That is not coincidence. That is deliverance through alignment. The blessing arriving within this window carries restoration of authority. Not authority over others, but authority over your own life. You will begin to make decisions without second-guessing yourself. You will begin to trust your discernment. You will begin to move without constantly seeking external validation. Archangel Michael says you have been underestimating your growth. You thought you were still fragile, still unsure, still unready. But heaven has been watching your progress closely. The way you handled recent challenges proved that you are stronger than you believed. This is why the timing is now. There is also a relational aspect connected to this blessing. It may involve someone recognizing your value, It may involve a conversation that shifts dynamics. It may involve reconciliation or unexpected support. Do not approach it defensively. Approach it with maturity. Not everyone around you is against you. Some were simply unaware of your evolution. When your energy changes, your environment responds. But remain discerning. Archangel Michael protects, but you must stay wise. Not every voice deserves access to your new season. The blessing is an invitation to rise, not to return to spaces that drained you. As the hours narrow, pay attention to your intuition. If something feels aligned, lean into it. If something feels forced, pause. Divine gifts carry peace even when they require courage. Chaos is not the signature of heaven. Clarity is. You may also experience a sudden surge of motivation. An idea you postponed may suddenly feel urgent. An action you delayed may now feel necessary. That urgency is not anxiety. It is activation. Archangel Michael is activating dormant potential within you. For too long, you have been playing small to avoid disappointment. You lowered your expectations so you would not be hurt again. But shrinking never protected you. It only postponed your expansion. This blessing is stretching you back into full size. And here is something crucial. When it arrives, gratitude will anchor it. Do not rush past the moment. Acknowledge it. Thank heaven for it. Gratitude strengthens spiritual alignment. It signals readiness for more. You are not chasing this blessing. It is approaching you. The remaining time is not about striving harder. It is about positioning yourself correctly. Release tension from your shoulders. Release overthinking from your mind. Release the narrative that you are always the one who misses out. You are not the one who misses out. You are the one who was prepared quietly while others rushed loudly. Archangel Michael stands as witness to your endurance. He knows the battles you fought internally. He knows the nights you questioned your worth. He knows the silent victories no one applauded. And now, heaven is responding. Within this window, something will click into place. It may not look dramatic to outsiders, but inside you, it will feel monumental. It will feel like alignment. It will feel like confirmation. It will feel like a door opening not just externally, but internally. Trust the process unfolding today. Trust the timing stamped on April 12th. Just that 3 hours is enough for God to shift what felt stuck for years. Because what is happening is not random. It is precise. And you are ready for what is about to unfold. Steady your heart now, because what is unfolding is no longer just anticipation. It is manifestation in motion. The unseen is pressing into the scene. April 12th is advancing, and the 3-hour window Archangel Michael warned you about is narrowing with intention. This is the hour where faith becomes action. You may feel a strange mixture of calm and intensity at the same time. That is not confusion. That is alignment under pressure. When heaven moves quickly, the atmosphere can feel charged. Archangel Michael is clearing interference even now, removing the final fragments of doubt that tried to cling to your thoughts. There is something you must understand deeply. The blessing approaching you carries responsibility. It is not simply a reward. It is a doorway into influence. Influence over your own decisions. Influence over your environment. Influence over how your future unfolds. And influence requires courage. You have asked for change, but change always demands participation. If an opportunity presents itself, you must step toward it. If a conversation opens, you must speak honestly. If an idea ignites, you must act before fear talks you out of it. Archangel Michael says hesitation is the last barrier standing between you and visible breakthrough. And that barrier is thinner than you think. Think about how many times you were delayed not by opposition, but by overthinking. Not by closed doors, but by your own uncertainty. Today is different. The atmosphere is supportive. The resistance is weaker. The timing is precise. Within this window, something will require a yes from you. It may not feel dramatic, but it will feel significant. Your spirit will recognize it instantly. There will be a subtle knowing, a quiet certainty that says, "This is it." When that moment comes, do not shrink back into old patterns. Archangel Michael is not only defending you from harm, he is defending your courage from intimidation. The fear that once shouted loudly now whispers faintly. You are stronger than it. There is also acceleration attached to this hour. What seems stagnant will begin to move. A response that was delayed may suddenly arrive. A door that felt locked may suddenly open. A person who seemed distant may suddenly reconnect. The blessing may appear through channels you least expect. Do not limit how heaven chooses to deliver. Your role is not to control the method. Your role is to remain receptive. And listen carefully. This message is not just about you. It is about alignment for everyone who is meant to hear it. If you feel this stirring your spirit, do not stay silent. Like this video so that the algorithm carries it to someone else who is on the edge of missing their moment. Share it with someone who needs confirmation that April 12th is not ordinary. Comment your declaration of readiness below, because when you speak alignment, you strengthen it. Make sure you are subscribed and part of this community, because these divine alerts are not accidental uploads. They are timely assignments. There is a reason you are here at this exact time, and what is about to unfold next will build upon what you are experiencing now. Stay connected, because the unfolding is layered and intentional. You will want to witness how this continues to develop. Now, return your focus inward. Archangel Michael is revealing something personal. This blessing is also about restoration of trust. Not just trust in heaven, but trust in yourself. You have questioned your judgment too often. You have replayed decisions, wondering if you missed something. Today is proof that you are guided. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are being directed. Within this final stretch of the window, silence distractions. Turn down the noise of comparison. Turn down the volume of fear. You do not need external validation right now. You need internal clarity. The gift prepared for you carries momentum. It is not meant to sit idle. Once it arrives, it will initiate movement in your life. Plans that felt delayed will regain energy. Confidence that felt shaken will stabilize. This is not hype. It is divine precision. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian of transitions, and you are transitioning right now. From waiting to receiving, from doubting to trusting, from stagnation to motion. If you feel resistance rising one last time, recognize it for what it is, the final echo of an ending season. Do not entertain it. Do not debate with it. Let it fade. Because the next decision you make may quietly alter the trajectory of your year. And when you look back at April 12th, you will not remember anxiety. You will remember clarity. You will remember the moment you chose courage. You will remember the instant you said yes. Stay alert. Stay receptive. Stay ready. The blessing is closer than you think, and the shift is already in progress. Quiet your thoughts for a moment and breathe deeply, because what is happening now is delicate and powerful at the same time. The atmosphere around April 12th has reached a critical point. The 3-hour window Archangel Michael spoke about is no longer distant. It is immediate. You are standing in the overlap between prophecy and fulfillment. Something inside you has already shifted. You may not have physical proof yet, but internally there is movement. That restless feeling you carried for weeks is easing. That tightness in your chest is loosening. That constant question of when will it happen is being replaced with it is happening. Archangel Michael is revealing that the blessing approaching you is not accidental favor. It is earned endurance meeting divine timing. You were tested in private before being trusted in public. You were refined in silence before being elevated in visibility. What is arriving now is the result of unseen preparation. There is a sacred exchange taking place. As you release control, heaven releases provision. As you surrender fear, heaven releases clarity. As you choose faith, heaven releases confirmation. But there is something important you must understand. The blessing may first appear as an opportunity that requires bravery. It may ask you to step beyond familiarity. It may invite you to speak when you once stayed silent. It may require you to move when you once hesitated. Do not confuse discomfort with danger. Growth often feels unfamiliar before it feels natural. Archangel Michael stands as your defender, but he also stands as your encourager. He is not just fighting battles you cannot see. He is strengthening the part of you that must act. The protection around this moment is strong, but your participation is still necessary. You may notice that certain distractions are trying one final time to pull your attention away. Random interruptions. Old memories resurfacing. Sudden doubts trying to question everything you have heard. This is not coincidence. Whenever breakthrough is near, resistance tries to create noise. Stay focused. The blessing has your name written on it, but clarity is required to recognize it. There is also a relational shift connected to this moment. Someone may begin to see you differently. Respect may increase. An apology may surface. Support may emerge from an unexpected direction. Allow it. Not everyone is assigned to misunderstand you forever. At the same time, release the need to explain yourself to those who refuse to understand. This new chapter does not require universal approval. It requires alignment. Archangel Michael is showing that the next step in your life is tied to confidence. Not loud arrogance, but quiet certainty. The kind of certainty that knows you are guided. The kind that does not panic when challenges appear, because it trusts that protection is already in place. You have grown into someone who can carry more than you think. Think about the trials you survived. Think about the disappointments you overcame. Think about the lessons you learned through hardship. None of it was wasted. All of it was building capacity. The 3-hour window was not meant to create anxiety. It was meant to create awareness. Awareness that this day matters. Awareness that your choices matter. Awareness that heaven is actively involved in your story. Within this atmosphere, you may sense a subtle instruction forming in your heart. It could be as simple as reaching out to someone. It could be as bold as accepting an offer. It could be as internal as deciding to forgive or finally believe again. Do not dismiss gentle nudges. Archangel Michael communicates through clarity, not chaos. There is also healing woven into this blessing. A wound you carried quietly is beginning to close. A disappointment that shaped your self-image is losing influence. You are not who you were when that hurt happened. You are wiser now, stronger now, more discerning now. And this blessing is confirmation that pain did not define you. It refined you. As the final stretch of this sacred window unfolds, remain calm. Do not rush ahead of the moment. Do not lag behind in fear. Stay present. Presence is powerful. When the opportunity reveals itself, you will know. It will not feel forced. It will not feel manipulative. It will feel aligned. Even if it stretches you, it will carry peace underneath the challenge. Archangel Michael is declaring that this is a pivot point. After today, something in your life will not return to its previous state. Either your perspective will permanently shift, or your circumstances will begin to move in a new direction. You are not about to miss this. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are positioned. And when this blessing fully arrives, you will understand why the timing had to be exact, why the delays were necessary, why the growth was required. Because you are no longer the person who once prayed in desperation. You are the person who now receives with confidence. Stay ready. The fulfillment is unfolding. Listen carefully now, because the atmosphere has shifted from anticipation into arrival. April 12th has carried you into a sacred intersection, and the 3-hour window spoken by Archangel Michael is no longer just a warning. It is a revelation unfolding in real time. Something has either just moved, or it is moving as you hear this. You may have felt it subtly. A message that came through. A thought that suddenly became clear. A door that opened without resistance. A weight that lifted without explanation. Do not dismiss these signs. The blessing prepared for you does not always announce itself with noise. Sometimes it enters quietly and changes everything silently. Archangel Michael is revealing that what has arrived carries confirmation. It is proof that you were never abandoned. Proof that delays were not denials. Proof that heaven hath been working behind scenes you could not see. The shift may feel internal at first, a peace you have not felt in months, a clarity that cuts through confusion, a confidence that replaces anxiety. This is how divine precision feels. What here is the deeper truth. This blessing is not only about what you receive. It is about who you become because of it. Something in you has stabilized. Something in you has awakened. You are no longer operating from survival mode. You are stepping into intentional living. Archangel Michael says the greatest transformation today is not external. It is internal authority. You are beginning to trust your instincts. You are beginning to honor your discernment. You are beginning to move without constantly seeking reassurance. That is the true gift. There may still be visible evidence that unfolds over the next days and weeks, but the seed has already been planted. And once heaven plants something, it does not die without producing fruit. You might notice that fear is quieter. Doubt is weaker. The voice that once told you to shrink is fading. That is not coincidence. That is spiritual alignment strengthening. At the same time, remain humble and grateful. Gratitude anchors blessings. When you acknowledge what has shifted, you create space for expansion. Whisper thank you. Recognize the moment. Honor the transition. Archangel Michael also warns that after a breakthrough, distraction sometimes tries to creep back in. Not with intensity, but subtly. Stay grounded. Do not rush to prove anything. Do not rush to announce everything. Let the blessing mature. This is a sacred unfolding. And if this message has walked with you through this window, if you have felt confirmation in your spirit as each layer unfolded, then you already know this was not random. This was alignment. Type I accept the shift in the comments as a declaration that you recognize what has moved. Blessing code 888 is now released over your life. Now hear this as an extension of what has just happened. When heaven releases a blessing, it often invites you to participate in someone else's breakthrough too. The oil that flows to you is meant to flow through you. Scripture declares that those who sow generously will reap generously. That is not distant theology. That is a living promise speaking into this moment. When you give a super thanks, when you become a member, or when you use the PayPal link in the description to sow into this mission, you are not funding a platform. You are fueling a river of encouragement that reaches souls standing on the edge of despair. This message found you because someone else once chose to give. Now it is your turn to keep the fire burning. As you release your seed, I declare open doors over your finances, multiplied favor over your efforts, and supernatural protection over what you build. Do not hesitate in obedience. Let your generosity become a prophetic act that echoes the blessing you just received. Step forward. Toe boldly. Activate what heaven has placed in your hands. Stay steady, because what has begun today is not temporary. It is the start of a rhythm, a new pace, a new mindset. April 12th will not fade into an ordinary memory. It will stand as a marker. The day you recognized alignment. The day you responded instead of hesitated. The day you stepped into clarity. And Archangel Michael remains near, not because you are in danger, but because you are advancing. The shift is real. The blessing is active. And you are walking in it. Hold this moment gently, because what has begun is still unfolding beneath the surface. April 12th did not simply deliver a blessing and end. It initiated a sequence. Archangel Michael is revealing that what you experienced within that 3-hour window with the ignition point, not the final chapter. Seeds were planted. Decisions were made. Alignments were activated. Now momentum is building. You may already sense subtle evidence. A conversation that felt different. A door that did not resist you the way it used to. An idea that now feels possible instead of distant. These are not random developments. They are extensions of what heaven released. When divine timing clicks into place, events begin to cooperate. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that breakthrough rarely explodes all at once. It often unfolds in layers so that you can adjust without being overwhelmed. The internal shift you felt is the foundation. The external changes will rise from that foundation steadily. Do not grow impatient now. This is where many people lose alignment. They celebrate the initial sign but become anxious when visible results take time to mature. But what heaven builds is stable. It is not rushed. It is not fragile. It is constructed with foresight. The blessing that touched your life carries sustainability. There is also something deeper happening in your character. You are becoming less reactive and more intentional. Situations that once triggered insecurity now feel manageable. Conversations that once intimidated you now feel neutral. That emotional stability is not accidental. It is evidence that growth has taken root. Archangel Michael is showing that protection remains active around you. Just because the breakthrough has begun does not mean opposition disappears. But it does mean you are equipped differently. The fear that once dominated your thinking no longer has the same authority. You are thinking clearer. You are responding wiser. You are moving steadier. That is part of the gift. There may still be moments where doubt tries to whisper, asking if what happened was real. That is simply your old mindset adjusting to new reality. Change always requires recalibration. Give yourself permission to grow into this new version without rushing the process. Remember, the 3-hour window was about activation. What follows is cultivation. Archangel Michael says the next days will reveal confirmations that remove any lingering uncertainty. You will see small but undeniable evidence that things are shifting in your favor. It may show up as unexpected support. It may show up as improved communication. It may show up as internal peace that remains even when challenges arise. Do not underestimate subtle progress. The spiritual realm values consistency more than spectacle. There is also a relational boundary forming around you. You are becoming more discerning about who has access to your energy, not from bitterness but from wisdom. A discernment protects what was planted. Not everyone needs to know what shifted. Not everyone deserves front row access to your new chapter. Guard it with maturity. Archangel Michael is not only defending you from harm. He is teaching you how to defend your own peace. That is part of elevation. The higher you rise, the more intentional you must become about your environment. You may also notice that motivation is increasing. Tasks you once procrastinated now feel urgent. Goals that once felt intimidating now feel achievable. That internal drive is connected to confidence restored. Confidence changes everything. When you believe that heaven is involved in your story, you move differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. That shift influences how others respond to you. This is how transformation spreads. April 12th will not just be remembered for what happened externally. It will be remembered for who you became internally. The day you stopped questioning whether you were supported. The day you stopped assuming you were forgotten. The day you realized divine timing was precise. Archangel Michael says that gratitude must remain active. Continue acknowledging progress, even if it feels small. Gratitude reinforces alignment. It keeps your focus on what is growing instead of what is lacking. There is still more ahead. The ignition has occurred, but expansion continues. Stay attentive. Stay grounded. Stay courageous. Because what began as a 3-hour warning is evolving into a sustained season of movement. And you are not the same person who first heard those words. You are steadier now. You are clear now. You are stronger now. The blessing did not simply arrive. It awakened you. And what awakens does not easily fall asleep again. Lean in closely, because what you are experiencing now is the continuation of a divine ripple that began the moment April 12th was marked over your life. The 3-hour window was never just about a single event. It was about awakening you to divine partnership. Archangel Michael is revealing that what was activated in that sacred time frame is still unfolding, and your response from this point forward determines the scale of its impact. Something inside you has matured through this process. You are not reacting impulsively. You are observing carefully. You are listening more deeply. That is growth. Before, you might have rushed ahead in excitement or retreated in fear. Now, you are balanced. That balance is evidence of spiritual alignment. Archangel Michael says the next stage requires consistency. Breakthrough is powerful, but maintenance is what sustains it. The blessing that arrived was not meant to fade like an emotional high. It was meant to initiate a new standard in your life, a new way of thinking, a new level of discipline, a new expectation of favor. You may already see opportunities beginning to connect, conversations aligning, doors responding, ideas forming into practical plans. This is not coincidence. When heaven accelerates something, it often aligns multiple areas at once. But you must remain attentive. There will be subtle decisions in the coming days that either reinforce this shift or dilute it. Choose wisely. Protect your peace. Guard your focus. Not every invitation deserves your time. Not every voice deserves your ear. Archangel Michael is teaching you discernment through experience. You are learning the difference between urgency and anxiety, between opportunity and distraction, between divine prompting and emotional impulse. This awareness is part of the blessing. You are no longer operating blindly. You are moving with intention. And hear this clearly. If this message has guided you through these moments and helped you recognize what heaven is doing in your life, do not keep that impact hidden. Like this video so it can reach others who are standing at their own 3-hour window. Share it with someone who needs confirmation that divine timing is real. Comment your testimony if you have already seen signs of the shift. And make sure you are subscribed and part of this growing community, because what is unfolding here is not random content. It is timely alignment. There is more insight coming that will build on what you are experiencing now. You will want to stay connected for what is about to unfold next. Now return your focus inward again. Archangel Michael says that confidence must now be practiced daily. Not arrogance, not pride, but steady assurance that you are guided. The enemy once tried to convince you that you were navigating life alone. That illusion had been shattered. You have seen evidence of divine coordination. Let that awareness change how you approach challenges. When obstacles appear, do not panic. Assess them calmly. When delays occur, do not assume denial. Look for redirection. When opportunities arise, do not shrink. Step forward thoughtfully. The blessing that arrived was not random generosity. It was confirmation of calling. There is purpose attached to your growth. There are people who will be impacted by your stability. There are spaces that will shift because you show up differently. Archangel Michael stands not only as a protector but as a witness to your transformation. He has seen the battles you overcame internally. He has seen the doubt you dismantled. He has seen the resilience you built in silence. Now others will begin to see it too. Do not rush visibility. Let your consistency speak. Let your character reveal the shift. Let your actions confirm what heaven initiated. There may still be moments where old patterns try to resurface, but is natural. Growth is a process, not a switch. When those patterns appear, recognize them without shame and choose differently. Each choice strengthened the new foundation. April 12th was a marker, but your story continues beyond that date. You are stepping into a season where alignment becomes normal, not rare. Where favor feels natural, not surprising. Where peace becomes your default, not your exception. And this is only the beginning of what that 3-hour window unlocked. Stay aware. Stay disciplined. Stay grateful. Because what has begun is building into something larger than you first imagined. And you are ready to carry it forward. Remain attentive, because what is unfolding now is the deeper layer of what April 12th activated in your life. The 3-hour window was the spark, but this is the shaping. Archangel Michael is revealing that the true evidence of a blessing is not just what arrives, but what it awakens within you long after the moment passes. You have begun to notice it, haven't you? The way you think has shifted. The way you respond has matured. The way you carry yourself has strengthened. That internal transformation is not accidental. It is the continuation of divine alignment. At first, you were focused on what the blessing would look like externally. A message, an opportunity, a breakthrough. And perhaps you received exactly that. But now you are recognizing something even more powerful. You are no longer waiting for permission to believe in yourself. You are no longer shrinking in rooms where you once felt small. You are no longer doubting every instinct. Archangel Michael says this is the true mark of elevation. External blessings can change circumstances. Internal awakening changes identity. And identity determines destiny. The reason April 12th felt so intense was not only because something was arriving. It was because something was being sealed. A decision inside you. A line drawn in your thinking. a quiet commitment to no longer live beneath your potential. That is what heaven was after. There may still be practical results unfolding around you. Doors gradually opening. Connections strengthening. Ideas turning into plans. But now you approach these developments differently. You are not desperate. You are deliberate. Archangel Michael is reminding you that spiritual growth often feels subtle. It does not always announce itself with dramatic emotion. Sometimes it shows up as stability, as clarity, as the absence of panic where panic once lived. Notice how certain triggers no longer control you. Notice how certain fears no longer dominate your thoughts. Notice how your conversations carry more confidence. These are not small changes. They are evidence that alignment has taken root. There is also refining happening in your priorities. Things that once consumed your energy feel less important. Approval from certain people no longer feels necessary. Proving yourself feels exhausting rather than essential. That shift is protection. You are conserving your energy for what truly matters. Archangel Michael is guiding you into discernment about where to invest your time. Not every opportunity requires your yes. Not every invitation requires your presence. The blessing that arrived was not meant to scatter your focus. It was meant to sharpen it. You may also notice that peace has become more accessible. Even when challenges arise, there is a grounded feeling underneath. That peace is not naivety. It is trust formed through experience. You saw divine timing once, and now you know it exists. That knowledge changes how you navigate uncertainty. April 12th was a turning point because it interrupted a pattern of doubt. It disrupted the belief that you were overlooked. It replaced anxiety with evidence. And once you see evidence, you cannot unsee it. Archangel Michael says the next chapter of your life will require the strengthened mindset. What is ahead of you demands confidence. It demands steadiness. And demands maturity. And you are growing into that version of yourself right now. Do not rush the unfolding. Do not compare your progress to anyone else's timeline. Divine precision is personal. What was scheduled for you could not have been delivered earlier without overwhelming you. What was delayed was refining you. Now refinement is turning into readiness. You may feel an increasing sense of responsibility. Not pressure, but awareness. Awareness that your decisions carry weight. Awareness that your words influence outcomes. Awareness that your attitude shapes your environment. This is leadership beginning internally. Archangel Michael stands as a witness to your growth, but he also stands as a reminder. Do not drift back into complacency. Do not assume that because one breakthrough occurred, vigilance is no longer necessary. Alignment is maintained intentionally. Continue practicing gratitude. Continue practicing discipline. Continue practicing faith. The 3-hour window taught you that timing matters. Now you understand that preparation matters just as much. You are not who you were before April 12th. You are steadier. You are wiser. You are more aware. And what began as a warning has transformed into a foundation. The blessing did not simply arrive and disappear. It anchored something permanent inside you. And that internal shift will carry you into the final revelation of what this entire moment was preparing you for. Beloved soul, this is the completion of what April 12th set into motion. The 3-hour window was never just about urgency. It was about awakening you to the precision of divine timing. Now you stand on the other side of that moment, not as someone waiting for proof, but as someone who has witnessed alignment. Archangel Michael is revealing the final truth behind this message. The blessing that arrived was not meant to oppress you. It was meant to transform you. It was meant to recalibrate your faith. It was meant to show you that heaven does not operate randomly, and neither does your life. Think about who you were before this message began. There was anticipation mixed with doubt. There was hope mixed with hesitation. There was desire mixed with uncertainty. But now something has solidified within you. You have seen movement. You have sensed confirmation. You have felt the shift. That internal certainty is the real miracle. External blessings may continue to unfold, but what has already happened inside you cannot be reversed. You now understand that divine timing can be exact. You now understand that protection can be active even when invisible. You now understand that delay does not equal denial. Archangel Michael says the greatest mistake would have been ignoring the gift, not just the external opportunity, but the internal awakening. Ignoring the call to rise. Ignoring the nudge to trust. Ignoring the moment to act. But you did not ignore it. You leaned in. You listened. You responded. And because of that, something permanent has been established. April 12th will forever represent a dividing line in your story. Before it, you questioned whether heaven was truly involved in your details. After it, you carry evidence. Before it, you second-guessed your instincts. After it, you trust your discernment more boldly. The 3-hour warning trained your awareness. It sharpened your focus. It taught you to recognize divine movement without demanding spectacle. Archangel Michael stands as a guardian of transitions, and this transition is complete. You are not the same person who first heard that urgent call. You are more aligned, more confident, more steady. There will still be challenges ahead. Life does not become obstacle-free, but you will approach those challenges differently now. You will remember that precision exists. You will remember that protection surrounds you. You will remember that when heaven prepares something, it arrives on schedule. That memory will anchor you in future storms. And here is the final revelation. The blessing was never just about you. It was about what flows through you next. Confidence influences others. Peace stabilizes environments. Faith inspires action. The shift in you will ripple outward into conversations, decisions, and relationships you have not yet encountered. You are now carrying something stronger than doubt. You are carrying certainty. If this entire message has confirmed what your spirit already sensed, then seal it with intention. Type "I walk in divine timing" in the comments as your declaration of alignment. Blessing code 1212 is now activated over your life. Now hear this as the closing charge of this sacred journey. The same heaven that prepared your blessing is calling you to help prepare someone else's breakthrough. The word declares, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease. That is not distant scripture. That is God speaking life over this very moment. When you release a super thanks, when you join as a member, or when you sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are planting seed into a field that reaches souls who are desperate for confirmation. You are saying, I will not ignore the gift, and I will help others receive theirs. As you give, rivers of provision will flow back to you. As you sow light, darkness will retreat from your path. This is not a casual donation. It is a prophetic act of partnership with heaven's timing. I declare that every seed you release will return multiplied, pressed down, shaken together, and running over in your life. Do not hesitate. Step into obedience. Sow into this mission. Activate the next harvest. Archangel Michael remains near, not because you are in danger, but because you are advancing. The window has closed. The blessing has arrived. And you are walking forward transformed.